Alright, hey guys, this is Tanner Karn. My question this week was, who am I and what motivates me? It's the first out of the 7 questions that we have. The questions that I had out of that was, how can I set myself apart from the world? How can I be in the world but not of the world? How can I learn from educators that I do like as well as educators that I do not like? And if I had different educational goals, such as a different major or a different career path lined up, how would that affect who I am? To look at the first question, being in the world but not of the world is a huge part of this. And you can do a search on LDS.org and you'll find a million different things, but the thing that I found helped the most was the chapter in Joseph Fielding Smith's Teaching of the President's Manual. It's chapter 19, I believe it is. I have the page numbers listed in the slide here. But he focuses on 5 things that will really help. They are keeping the Sabbath day holy, obeying the word of wisdom, respecting the Lord's name, dressing modestly, and keeping the law of chastity. He said that if you can focus on those 5 things, then you're going to be able to increase in spiritual learning. And we all know, based on the things we've learned in this class, that spiritual learning can lead to secular learning as well. And we are going to be able to remember the things that we learn better. We're going to be at a higher standard, and things like that. The things that will really help us to learn, they can come from these 5 things. My second question, how can I learn from educators that I do like as well as educators that I do not like? What I had to remember was that they know more than I do. They have a degree, I don't. You can see that in my slide here. What educators I found are really trying to do are just help me. Even if I don't like them at first, I've found that by talking to my educators and learning who they are, I tend to like them more. On this topic, I found that Doctrine and Covenants 88:118 helped me a lot. And to read that for you, it says, And as all have not faith, seek ye diligently, and teach one another words of wisdom. Yea, seek ye out, and I like this part the best, seek ye out of the best books words of wisdom. Seek learning even by study, and also by faith. The reason that scripture helped me the most is because I was able to remember, to realize that that these educators, the ones that have their degrees, the ones that are trying to teach me, they have studied out of the best books. They know what sources they can go to learn. They know where the resources are, and they have studied them. They know how to best help me. And all I can really do is just trust them. Know that they are trying to help me. And somebody actually, in answer to my questions, posted up a link to WikiHow about how to learn to like the teachers that we don't like. If you want to, you can go to the discussion board with my question and look that up, and I think it's got some really good tools in there. But basically, a lot of it is talking to the teacher, making sure that you know that they're just trying to help you. And that can be a huge help for any educator, whether you like them or not. So with my last question, if I had different educational goals, how would that affect who I am? I've learned that by being an education major, I'm learning about how to teach these things that I'm learning to others, how to focus on making sure that they know what I know and doing it in an effective way. So basically the how and what to teach. The things that I'm learning from all my studies, all my textbooks, I'm also sometimes consciously, but most of the time subconsciously, trying to figure out how to teach that stuff to others. And it's really neat to see that, because that's become who I am. I want to be able to teach this stuff to others. If I had any other major, like let's say instead of a social studies education major, I was strictly a history major, I'd be more focused on learning about academic text, finding the best books, like I mentioned earlier, and making sure that I had all the resources available, but I wouldn't be so much worried about teaching that to others. And I've found that by trying to teach things to others, we can learn a lot more from that as well, and the things that we learn become grounded. So because I'm an education major, because I have these educational goals that I have, I'm able to learn much more than otherwise, because 1, that's how I learned, and 2, that's what I've learned. So I know that I am who I am because of the decisions that I've made. And what motivates me is trying to help others to grow as I've grown. Those are just a couple of the things that I've learned in this last week and a half. So if you have any questions, feel free to look through these slides, look up the scripture reference, and I would highly recommend that you go look at that chapter that I recommended. It's actually got some really good stuff, even if this wasn't your question this week. So go take a look at it, and until next time, signing off. Have a good week, guys.